Hello friends, myself Dr. Nandakumar Rao Bavale from College of Engineering Ambazogai is going to deal with Applied Thermodynamics 1. This is our 44th lecture. In previous lecture we have discussed about work done per kg of air compressed with a clearance volume, volumetric efficiency of a compressor, isothermal efficiency, methods for improving isothermal efficiency of a compressor, multi-stage compression and advantages of multi-stage compression. So today we will discuss about condition for minimum work required in a compressor of a multi-stage type. Then actual indicator diagram. What is difference between theoretical indicator diagram and actual indicator diagram? And work done and indicated power in case of a air compressor. Then we will see the classification and working of rotary compressors. So now today we will discuss about a condition for minimum work done per kg of air in a multi-stage air compressor. Now let us consider this PV diagram. From this PV diagram, let this point is say 7. This point we call as a 6. 7 to 1 is the suction process. Suction of air into the low pressure cylinder. We have low pressure and high pressure cylinder. So here we will represent LP cylinder, which is bigger in size, and HP cylinder, which is smaller in size. We have here piston. And the fresh air from atmosphere is taken at pressure P1 into low pressure cylinder. It is compressed to pressure P2 in LP cylinder. Then it is cooled in a intercooler and passed into the HP cylinder. And this air coming out of this HP cylinder comes at pressure P3. So P2. Now air enters at LP cylinder at pressure P1, comes out from LP cylinder at pressure P2, then it passes through intercooler IC and comes out at pressure P2. After cooling, then it enters into HP cylinder, high pressure cylinder, and then it comes out of this high pressure cylinder at pressure P3. So here we have three pressures, P1, P2, P3, and the air is taken into the compressor during process 7 to 1. So initially in this LP cylinder, air is at stage 1 or state 1, we call this as a state 1. So this dotted line indicates isothermal process, that is nothing but which follows the law PV is equal to constant, and which is the ideal process. So isothermal process is PV is equal to C, means constant temperature process during which temperature remains constant. So our aim is to follow this dotted line, but practically it is not possible to follow this dotted line because we cannot provide infinite time for compression process, and as the heat generated or heat produced during compression has to be dissipated, and if we violate this, then that cannot be called as a isothermal process. So here this air taken into the low pressure cylinder is compressed from 1 to 2 by following the polytropic law PV raised to N1 is equal to constant. It follows one polytropic process. Then it is expected that this air which enters into the high pressure cylinder at point 2, before entering it is to be passed into the intercooler where heat is rejected. Heat is rejected and temperature of air. So initially temperature of air is T1. Then in first stage temperature reaches to T2. After passing through intercooler, again temperature gets reduced to temperature T3, say. The temperature is reduced to T3. If we get success in reducing temperature from T2 to T3 dash, then we call this as a perfect intercooling. But it is not possible for us to have the perfect cooling practically. So this air is cooled up to temperature T3. Again it is compressed, then it is passed into the high pressure cylinder, and then it is compressed from 3 to 4 following polytropic process. PV raised to N2 is equal to constant. So N1 and N2 are different. So in LP cylinder it follows PV raised to N1 is equal to constant, and in HP cylinder it follows the law, polytropic law, PV raised to N2 is equal to constant. Now here this much of work saving we can achieve, that is the area 2, 3, 4, 6. This area gives us work saving in a two-stage air compressor. So if we succeed in reducing the temperature of air from T2 to T3 dash, then we can save this area even will be the work saving. So which is not possible for us to compress air, or which is not possible to have the perfect intercooling. So here, assuming that imperfect intercooling, we can say that the temperature T3 is greater than temperature T1. So if this T3 coincides with T3 dash, then T3 is equal to T1. So here, due to imperfect cooling, temperature is not going to be equal. So T3, temperature T3 is greater than temperature at T1. So imperfect intercooling states that we can write here imperfect intercooling states that temperature T3 is greater than temperature T1. So when we say there is a perfect intercooling, then temperature T3 is equal to T1. So perfect intercooling, a perfect intercooler cools the air from T2 to T1, and T3 becomes equal to T1. So here this air is cooled up to T3, and this T3 coincides with T3 dash, means temperature T3 is equal to T1. Now the total work done in this two-stage compressor is obtained by adding the work done in low pressure cylinder and work done in high pressure cylinder. So therefore the total work done per kg of air delivered is addition of work done in LP cylinder and HP cylinder. Therefore work done per cycle W is equal to N1 divided by N1 minus 1 RT1 bracket P2 divided by P1 to the power of N1 minus 1 divided by N1 minus 1, close this bracket. So in LP cylinder pressure is increased from P1 to P2, and in HP cylinder pressure is increased from pressure P2 to P3. So this is applicable for LP cylinder plus of work done required in HP cylinder is N2 divided by N2 minus 1 R T1 R T1 in bracket P3 divided by P2 to the power of N2 minus 1 divided by N2 minus of 1 RT3, not T2, T1, this is RT3. The temperature, initial temperature is 3, RT3. So this can be written as, this is the total work done. Now let us assume that N1 divided by N1 minus 1 is equal to 1 over X, and N2 divided by N2 minus 1 is equal to 1 over Y. So this work done, equation number 1, can be written as W is equal to N1 divided by N1 minus 1 can be placed as 1 over X RT1 P2 divided by P1 to the power of N1 minus 1 divided by N1. Reciprocal of this is nothing but X to the power of X minus 1, close this bracket, plus 1 over Y RT3 in bracket P3 divided by P2, higher pressure minus lower pressure, to the power of N2 divided by N2 minus 1 is 1 over Y. So here N2 minus 1 divided by N2, reciprocal of this is Y minus 1. So this is equation number 2. Now, as P1 is atmospheric pressure, we cannot change. P3 is the desired pressure which we want. We cannot change P3, we cannot change P1. P1 is set by the natural conditions, atmospheric conditions, and whereas P3 is set as per our requirements. We want required pressure of air. So we cannot change this P3. So what is in our hand? We have to adjust this P3 in such a way that the work done will be minimum. P1 and P3 are the pressures which are constants and cannot be altered. So we can write as P1 is the atmospheric pressure and P3 is required pressure which are constant. These two pressures are constant. So the intermediate pressure P2 P2 must be determined to obtain minimum work per kg of air delivered. differentiating equation number 2. Therefore, differentiating equation 2 with respect to P2 and equating to 0, we get dw by dp2 is equal to 0. Therefore, differentiating d of dp2 with respect to pressure P2, the equation number 2 is nothing but 1 over x r T1 P2 divided by P1 the power of x minus 1 plus of 1 over y r T3 P3 divided by P2 to the power of y minus 1, equating it to 0. Now let us differentiate this first part. It is differentiated with respect to P2, so all other terms are treated as constant. 1 by x is constant, r T1 is taken as constant. In this bracket, P2 to the power of x divided by P1 to the power of x. So P2 to the power of x differentiation is x P2 to the power of x minus 1 divided by P1 to the power of x is treated as common. Differentiation of minus 1 is 0 plus this term is constant 1 by y r T3 P3 to the power of y is treated as constant, so 1 by P2 to the power of y means P2 to the power of minus y. Differentiation of P2 to the power of minus y is minus y P2 to the power of minus y minus 1. Differentiation of this 1, if we take this multiplication with 1, so this term becomes constant and differentiation of constant is 0 and is equal to 0. So now the terms which we have here, x gets cancelled, y and y gets cancelled, minus 1 is going to remain. So rewriting this equation as r T1 P2 to the power of x minus 1 divided by P1 to the power of x minus, so this minus sign is here, RT3 P3 to the power of y divided by P2 to the power of y plus 1. So P2 to the power of minus y minus 1, if we take into the denominator it will be y plus 1. This is equal to 0. So coming to the next slide, we will see the term which is negative. So this negative term is transferred on right hand side. So on left hand side what is going to remain is RT1 P2 to the power of x minus 1 divided by P1 to the power of x which is equal to rt3 p3 to the power of y divided by p2 to the power of y plus 1. So r gets cancelled. Now collecting these terms, transferring denominators on opposite side, we get t1 p2 to the power of x minus 1 into, so this denominator which is p2 to the power of y plus 1, p2 to the power of y plus 1 on left hand side, and on right hand side t3 p3 to the power of y into p1 to the power of x. Now we can rewrite this as, bases are same, p2 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 to the power of x minus 1 plus y plus 1, which is equal to t3 divided by t1 into p3 to the power of y p1 to the power of x. Minus 1 gets cancelled with plus 1, p2 to the power of x plus y, which is equal to t3 divided by t1 p3 to the power of y p1 to the power of x. Now if we assume that the polytropic index n1 is equal to n2, polytropic index here pv to the power of n1 is equal to constant, and here pv to the power of n2 is equal to constant. So if the comparison follows same law, pv to the power of n1 is equal to n2, then x becomes equal to y, as we have assumed n1 divided by n1 minus 1 is equal to 1 over x, and n2 divided by n2 minus 1 is equal to 1 over y. If n1 is equal to n2, 1 by x is equal to 1 by y, that is nothing but x is equal to y. If we take it as x is equal to y, then we can write this as p2 to the power of 2x, which is equal to t3 divided by t1 p1 p3 to the power of x we can write. So taking or transferring this power 2x on right hand side, we can write p2 is equal to t3 divided by t1 into p1 p3 to the power of x whole power 1 by 2x. So this 2x is transferred on right hand side, or taking 1 by 2 as the power on both sides, we get this. Then on further simplification, p2 is equal to t3 divided by t1 to the power of 1 by 2x p1 into p3. This x gets cancelled with this x, power will be 1 by 2. So this can be written as again square root of, so here is 1 by 2, here is 1 by 2, so we take common as a square root of t3 divided by t1 to the power of x 1 over x, not x, to the power of 1 over x into p1 p3 1 by 2. This 1 by 2 gets converted into the root. So now this p2 is equal to, we get this, that is p2 is equal to square root of square root of T3 by T1 to the power of 1 by x P1 P3. Now if the intercooling is perfect, if the temperature T2 is cooled up to T3, that is nothing but this 3 point coincides with 3 dash, so the temperature of point 3 is going to be equal to T1. So if intercooling is perfect, then T1 is equal to T3. If T1 is equal to T3, then this equation P2 becomes square root of T1 is equal to T3 means this 1 to the power of anything becomes 1. So P1 into P3. So P2 is equal to P1 into P3 is the condition for minimum work required. Or else this can be written as P2 square is equal to P1 P3. Or else if we write this P2 divided by P1, P1 is taken on left hand side. Here we have 2 times P2, 1 P2 is transferred on right hand side, P3 divided by P2. So this is for two-stage air compressor. Now if we have multiple stages, then this equation can be written as P2 divided by P1 is equal to P3 divided by P2 is equal to P4 divided by P3 is equal to P5 divided by P4 is equal to so on. We can write is equal to Pn plus 1 divided by Pn. So when it is possible, the intercooling is perfect and all polytropic indices are same, then only it is possible to have this generalized equation. So this is condition. We can call this as a third equation, and then we call this as a fourth equation. Now if there is a perfect intercooling and if we know the condition for the minimum work done required, then T1 is equal to T3 and P2 divided by P1 is equal to P3 divided by P2. So if there is a perfect intercooling and P2 divided by P1 is equal to P3 divided by P2, then the equation number 2 which we have written here, equation number 1 or 2, so 1, equation number 1 becomes, at that time equation number 1 can be written as work done W is equal to n divided by n minus 1, because n1 is equal to n2 is equal to n, and that is equal to RT1. P2 divided by P1 to the power of n minus 1 divided by n minus 1 plus of n divided by n minus 1 RT3. We write this as P3 divided by P2 to the power of n minus 1 divided by n minus 1. So originally this is n1, 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 n2, 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 n2. So substituting the values of n1 is equal to n2, P2 divided by P1 is equal to P3 divided by P2, and T1 is equal to T3, perfect intercooling. So this above equation gets reduced to N divided by N minus 1 or T1, P2 divided by P1 to the power of N minus 1 divided by N minus 1 plus N2 means again N divided by N minus 1 or T3 is equal to T1, T3 is equal to T1 or T1 in bracket P3 divided by P2, P3 divided by P2 is equal to P2 divided by P1, P2 divided by P1 to the power of N minus 1 divided by N minus 1. So if we see first bracket is equal to the second bracket, both will become same. Therefore 2 times N divided by N minus 1 are T1, P2 divided by P1 to the power of N minus 1 divided by N minus 1. So here as it is 2 stage, therefore we got here 2. If it is N stage compressor, then we can write this as capital N into small n divided by N minus 1 or T1 in bracket P2 divided by P1 to the power of N minus 1 divided by N minus 1. So N is the number of stages. N is for number of stages. If it is 2 stage, then N is equal to 2. If it is 3 stage, N is equal to 3. Newton meter per cycle. So this is nothing but the work done for a multi-stage air compressor. Now coming to the next slide, cylinder dimensions. So we have to find out cylinder dimensions that we see. We'll be finding cylinder dimensions. So for finding cylinder dimensions, the mass of air, we write here cylinder dimensions. Cylinder dimensions of multi-stage compressor. The mass of air passing through each cylinder is same. The mass of air passing through each cylinder is same. So for example, 1 kg of air enters into LP cylinder and 1 kg air comes out of LP cylinder. Then when it enters into HP cylinder, 1 kg will enter and 1 kg will leave. So whatever is the mass of air entering into the LP cylinder is same entering into the HP cylinder or in any n number of cylinders. So mass of air M, mass of air is given by specific volume into density. So specific volume of air is given in meter cube per cycle. It's not specific volume per cycle into mass density is nothing but mass of air entering into each cylinder per cycle. So for example, density has got unit kg per meter cube. meter cube gets cancelled, kg per cycle. So unit of mass is kg per cycle. Unit of volume is meter cube per cycle into unit of density is kg per meter cube. So meter cube gets cancelled, kg per cycle remains on left hand side. So now whatever is the mass of air entering into first cylinder we call as volume of air entering into first cylinder VA1, actual volume of air entering into first cylinder in meter cube per cycle into density of air entering into first cylinder, which is equal to volume of actual air entering into second cylinder into density of air into second cylinder, which is equal to actual volume of air entering into third cylinder into density of air entering into third cylinder, which is going to be constant. Why? Because m1 kg of air enters into first cylinder, m1 kg per cycle. Same air enters into second cylinder and same air enters into third cylinder. Whatever is the mass of air entering into first cylinder is entering into the second, third and so on. So mass of air entering into first cylinder is given by VA1 into rho 1 is equal to VA2 rho 2 is the mass of air entering into second cylinder. Both must be same, and the same is the mass of air entering into third cylinder. Now we know one thing, PV is equal to mRT, that is nothing but mass per unit volume. M by V is equal to P by RT. So mass per unit volume is nothing but density. So this is nothing but density. In place of density we can write M divided by V or P divided by RT. Therefore we write this as VA1 into P1 divided by RT1. So in place of rho we write P1 divided by RT1. So rho is nothing but P divided by RT, which is equal to VA2 P2 divided by RT2. So density 2 is given by P by RT2, so which is equal to VA3 into P3 divided by RT3. So that is nothing but we are replacing rho as P divided by RT in every case. So this is going to be constant. This is going to be constant. Now if there is a perfect intercooling, if we consider perfect intercooling, then T1 is equal to T2 is equal to T3. So and R is the gas constant is going to be same. So R gets cancelled. T1 is equal to T2 is equal to T3. Therefore we cancel this. So what is going to remain is VA1 P1 is equal to VA2 P2 is equal to VA3 into P3 is equal to constant. Now one thing we know, volumetric efficiency is equal to actual volume of air divided by swept volume, or else actual volume of air, this gives us actual volume of air per cycle is equal to volumetric efficiency into swept volume. So VA can be written as the multiplication of volumetric efficiency into swept volume. So this VA1 we write as volumetric efficiency of first cylinder into specific volume, swept volume of first cylinder into P1, which is equal to volumetric efficiency of second cylinder into swept volume of second cylinder into P2, which is equal to volumetric efficiency of third cylinder into swept volume of third cylinder into P3 is equal to constant. So we'll copy this equation on next slide. Volumetric efficiency of first cylinder into swept volume of first cylinder into pressure P1, which is equal to volumetric efficiency of second cylinder into swept volume of second cylinder into pressure P2 is equal to volumetric efficiency of third cylinder into swept volume of third cylinder into P3 is equal to constant. Now this swept volume is Vs, which is given by pi by 4 d square L. So replacing this in this equation, the volumetric efficiency 1 into pi by 4 P1 square L1 into P1, which is equal to volumetric efficiency of cylinder 2 pi by 4 D2 square L2 P2, which is equal to volumetric efficiency 3 pi by 4 D3 square L3 P3 is equal to constant. Now we assume that the stroke length for all the cylinders is same, because all cylinders or all connecting rods are connected to same size of crank. So stroke length L1 is equal to L2 is equal to L3 is equal to so on. And volumetric efficiency of all cylinders is assumed to be same. V1 efficiency of one cylinder is equal to volumetric efficiency of second cylinder is equal to volumetric efficiency of third cylinder. So pi by 4 gets cancelled, volumetric efficiency assumed same, it gets cancelled. Then L1 is equal to L2 is equal to L3 gets cancelled. So now what we will have here is D1 square P1 is equal to D2 square P2 is equal to D3 square P3 is equal to constant. So this is nothing but the relation between pressure and diameter of a multi-stage air compressor. Now there is the term known as intercooler, where the intercooler is used in this air compressor in order to reduce the work, whereas there is another term aftercooler at the end of compression if air is cooled and stored into the reservoir. So function of aftercooler is not to reduce the work done. The function of aftercooler is to reduce the size of reservoir in order to store air. So this is how we can say that the air is compressed in multiple stages. So I think for this lecture we shall stop here, and the remaining part of actual indicator diagram, then theoretical work done per kg per cycle, and the indicated power, whereas working of rotary compressors has to be included in next lecture. So that will add into the next lecture. So watch for the remaining part, which was expected to be covered in this lecture, will be covered in 45th lecture. Thank you. We stop here.